Okay, back to the tricky puzzle. Let me also make sure. I got a rune down there. As far as I can tell, it's the only one. Yeah. It's the one that we're looking at, in fact. The one in the basement. Did I need to inspect you? Because you look pretty inspectable. Yeah, these paintings. Oh. Oh, wait a minute. This floor is breakable. And you pull that up so you can cut the wires of the elevator. I mean, I assume. I'm not sure how I'm gonna be able to do that. So what I'm thinking, unless of course it's simpler than that. Oh, if I'm here, I might. No, I don't think I'm gonna die. I might die. It's not what I wanted to do at all. It's this one, because if I fall, I'm unlikely to break my fall. Or rather, that's the floor, the ground is gonna break my fall, but or I guess the remains of the elevator. But now we don't have an elevator. And we broke the floor. So yeah, basically pulling it up, the only reason... Please open the door. The only reason was to... what did I just see? Oh, right. Oh. Am I gonna need... Oh, no. I'm gonna need to... What? This doesn't work? So we're supposed to go down through here? Yeah, we are. Like so. Okay. It was a lot easier than I expected. Lost and found. No enemies. Just a place. It's just a normal place. Why was it blocked off? It could be the bone shard. Creating all sorts of cursed things and whatnot.
I miss being dry and warm.
Yeah, well... Ooh, Sokolov. The bad person. Vera Moray's belongings. Gus, seems like our VIP guest, Mrs. Vera Moray, has finally flown round the bend. She's been sent to the critical observation area, getting cold showers every 3 hours and the like. I heard one of the doctors say she might have contracted some nameless disease on an expedition to Pandicia. Another eccentric aristocrat trying too hard to live a life beyond us ordinary folks. Anyway, some of her stuff was still in her room, so I'll store it all in Lost and Found down in the basement until she's sent back to her husband. He's in for a nice surprise considering how she spends her time now talking to herself and carving obscenities into pieces of bone. Just remember to give everything back to her when she checks out. Imelda. She could just be making bone charms, though. Vera Morey's diary. My physician says I should keep a journal. Says it will do me good to reflect on my ways and deeds. Says that the mark on my hand is just a tattoo or blemish from birth, and that the black-eyed boy is only in my head. Psha. Bunch of fools. I found where the administrator keeps the whiskey. Snuck a bottle back to my room easy as that. I think I could stuff a whale under my jacket and dance the gavotte and they'd never notice. What would my sweet physician say about that? Or my dreary old husband? Quote, oh my, Vera, what have you done now? Mumble, mumble. Appearances and what not? Exclamation mark, unquote. I must get home to my collection of carved bones, such pretty things, brought all the way from Pandasia. How warm they feel in my hands. There's power there, something I could learn to harness. That's why I've been trying to be a proper, quote, lady, unquote, again, with clean nails and a perfumed handkerchief. My physician says if I'm still behaved by the end of Hearths, that they might send me home. So I smile and curtsy, and ask for tea in the afternoon, comb my hair, drink my medicines, and I stopped trying to bite the attendants. Good, that's progress. No more biting of the attendants. That is really nice. Although death, likely, will happen with these bones. It's kind of complicated. Okay, so the other thing is... Oh, please let me... Can I not? I don't think I can. Oh, no. Oh, I can just do it like this. Okay. The other thing is, I saw this. And these buttons that seem to be able... You seem to be able to push them from outside, even with like a long spear and poke it. Yeah, they're there as that. This means that we're good. Wow. And now we have Megan Foster. Our only objective, to talk to her. We got everything. We did everything. Everybody's asleep. Or dead. I mean, admittedly. And this door was the door that I couldn't open. For reasons. What? There you go. Game got a little bit confused about what I was doing. Megan, I did it. I did a thing. You're not gonna believe it. Did I get spotted?
Are we finished? The Grand Guard could come at any time.
I don't think I got spotted. Let's find out.
Can we leave this place yet? I don't like it. Ready now?
No, I did get spotted by the Crown Killer. Terrible things. The only spotting was the Crown Killer. It's fine. It's fine. It's all about the fun. It's not about a stat.
Yes. Let's get back to the ship.
Did you find Sokolov?
No. But Hypatia was the Crown Killer.
What? I don't believe you.
The Duke tricked her into injecting herself with a flawed version of her serum. It changed her, but there was an antidote, so she's alive. If she remembers the murders, she'll have to deal with that.
What about Sokolov?
They gave him to a man named Kirin Jindosh. Do you know him?
Everybody knows him. The grand inventor of Serkonos.
Then he's next. Let's hope Anton's all right.
Detections 1. I did real well, though. But didn't kill anyone. That's what really matters. I got all the things. Apart from blueprints. I don't care about blueprints. Got a lot of money as well. That's pretty good. And special actions as well. Pretty awesome. Talk to Megan Foster about the best way to reach the home of Kirin Jindosh, grand inventor to the Duke of Serkonos.
In his day, Sokolov was Dunwall's genius. He transformed our city with his inventions. Electricity for the factories and carriages racing along above the streets. As I grew up, his buzzing and glowing devices kept me safe. His stories always made me giggle, and his outrageous conversations shocked aristocrats and overseers alike. Now, all these years later, Kiran Jindosh is Karnaka's genius. A mad inventor who has given the Duke sinister machines that move like people but aren't. Clockwork soldiers that fight and kill. I've got to find out where Sokolov's being held and bring the old man back alive. Rescue one genius and cage the other before he creates an army of clockwork soldiers.
It's worth pointing out that Sokolov made, like, the Wall of Light, or the Tower of Death, or mines, and just bad things in general. He was very much the same sort of bellicose inventor as this one new inventor is portrayed to be. So, yeah, Sokolov is the the stereotypical mad scientist, and I think we're just seeing the Empress be portrayed as blindsided. Really, it's not blindsided. It's just sort of, she has a blind spot, I should say. That is a lovely pen. What a lovely pen. We got a travel log and a note from Megan Foster. Let's go with the travel log first. The Crown Killer is no more. Next, Jindosh. I finally uncovered how my enemies created the, quote, Crown Killer, unquote. What better way to erode confidence in me before the coup? There's so many, like, saying bad things about you that you don't need to kill anybody. Just saying bad things. If I had stopped to think about it for even a few minutes, maybe I could have kept my people's trust. But that would have required patience, and my advisors always remind me that I have none of that particular trait. But to use Hypatia's own serum against her, exclamation mark. Horrible. I'm happy I could find a cure. She's a brilliant alchemist. Now she can continue her research to help the people of Serkonos. I wasn't able to rescue Sokolov. He's been taken elsewhere, to Kiran Jindosh's mansion. He is the inventor of the clockwork soldier, and if he's able to use Sokolov's genius for his own plans, it might be very, very bad. I've seen his killing machines in action at Dunwall Tower. I can't allow Delilah to have such an ally. I'm sure Jindosh takes pleasure in keeping his intellectual rival captive. Well, it won't be for long if I have any say in it. The dreadful whale, without the H. What a weird name. It's hard to sleep on this ship, and when I do, my dreams are troubled. Well, I'm awake now and thinking about Sokolov. I remember him at the Hound Pits pub so long ago, trapped like a beast in a cage. He smelled of stale piss and rotting meat, but they couldn't break him. He held onto himself and picked up again as my tutor, something I needed in the aftermath of my mother's death. Quote, beware of dignitaries bearing gifts, unquote. He used to tell me, but I was still a child and I liked gifts. I thought nothing sounded more pleasant. Now I know better. I also find myself thinking of Callista, my old governess. She always wanted to travel the world on a big boat. Eventually she left Dunwall, then stopped writing a few months later. I wonder if she died. Or something. It's not like her to stop writing, right? I got 4 runes. That's pretty good. That's pretty sweet. Oh, the domino. Link up to 4 enemies. Yes. Yes, I want that. Note from Megan Foster. Dr. Hypatia needed a place to sleep, so I cleared the stuff out of the spare cabin. I was able to sell most of it. Here's what is left of the money. It's not a lot, I know. Whale oil is expensive and under Imperial rationing decree, but you know that. Megan Foster. Why would she give me money? It's her ship. It's her stuff. The spare cabin.
I just want Anton back here, safe and sound. How did that old fool come to mean so much to me?
I don't know. baffles me, honestly. Hey. I'm just looking around a little. I'll talk to you in a little.
What did I do? What did I do? All these faces and the Duke's voice lulling me, then feeling her push me down into sleep.
Hey. Dr. Hypatia's notes. On a boat, with friends, I believe. I slept, thankfully without the usual nightmares. Perhaps the sea air does me good. The captain, Megan Foster, brought some tea earlier. Such an interesting woman. She seemed to understand about my strange disjointed memories and the feelings of dread that accompany them. As soon as I am able, I must return to Addermire. So much of the last few months seem a blur. What was I accomplishing? What of my research into serums for the Black Spittle? My work was so easily derailed, I can only conclude I was suffering from a complete exhaustive breakdown. I will need time to recover.
Oh, you're here.
I am, taking your stuff.
Stay with me a moment.
Yes, that is the plan. Just gonna stop this over here if you don't mind. Just looking at all of your things. Breaking some of your things. I don't know why. I'm just a very, yeah, strong woman.
Dr. Hypatia, can you remember anything that might help me? I need to find Anton Sokolov. He could be the key to unraveling the Duke's plans.
My memories are disjointed. The Duke is close to his grand inventor, Kirin Jindosh, but that man has the empathy of a mantis. He seems to both admire and despise Sokolov. We visited Aramis Stilton. I liked him, but something bad happened. Just snatches of memory. Sorry.
You should rest easy for a while. Maybe some of that will help.
I hope so. I'm not sure I even fully understand what you did for me, but I owe you for helping me at Addermire. Thank you. My dreams are still filled with visions, some of which I'd sooner forget.
Oh, look at me now breaking your stuff.
When I first got here, I was in a daze, but I'm feeling better. I'm not sure how long I'll stay here, but I appreciate being away from Addermire. A few days' recovery has helped. It might be the salty air or the rocking of the boat.
Right. What a weird thing.
It might be the salty air or the rocking of the boat. Maybe just being around good people again. Maybe someday, Karnaca will return to the way it was under the old Duke. Theodanis. You be careful.
You be careful.
Unless someone can correct all this, the next decade or more might be gloomy indeed.
Yeah, or next century. Well, I'll see you later.
Megan must be up on deck.
Yes. It's very easy to tell where she is. Oh, also... Hey.
Pushed out into the harsh world, you are alone, but for a few allies. It's as if she's emerged from a long, black dream. Her spirit has been unburdened, and she is gaining strength each day. There's a sense within her of what she's done, but only impressions. Hypatia's mood improves. She looks forward to seeing patients again. Already, she's thinking about an old patient suffering from boanthropy. She wants to know how the woman is progressing. Hypatia studied at the Academy of Natural Philosophy under Piero Joplin and Anton Sokolov.
She did. She did indeed. Let's look around a little.
Ramsay and the Crown Killer. 2 pieces of the puzzle. More to go.
Oh, right.
So the Crown Killer was a tool of the Duke's coup. The murders had a calculated effect.
Did you know that coup means ass in Portuguese? It's very funny. Transcript of a lecture given at the Academy of Natural Philosophy by Dr. Alexandra Hypatia. Here you have the final stage of the blood fly infection. This patient is 37 years of age and was a school head mistress before her unfortunate encounter with a large nest in her deceased uncle's greenhouse. Note the lesions on her face and arms and the larval swellings throughout the body. But what the drawings cannot show you is her demeanor before death. The most striking symptom of progressed infection is the protective attitude demonstrated towards the nest. This tells us even prior to autopsy that the larvae, or their byproducts, have infected the intention center of the victim's brain. There is no cure once the condition has advanced this far, though you can make your patient less agitated with a generous dosing of opiates. The subject died 3 days after this silver graft was taken. And here is the fully mature insect after its post-blood fly transformation. Now in beetle form, note it has dropped its wings. It is no longer aggressive and has many beneficial qualities, especially in the field of agriculture. Without these insects, many crops across Serkanos would suffer, leading to loss of yield and a marked reduction in profits.
That wasn't here before. Botany and diseases.
Yeah, I look around for everything. That's why I know things show up, even though they weren't here before. Wait, botany and diseases? What do you mean, botany and diseases? That wasn't... It's not what I looked at. Murdered all the things here.
Dearest Emily.
There you are, old man. I was asked to pay you a visit.
Wait, what's wrong with you? Megan!
Off we go, Sokolov, to somewhere more private.
That was the Crown Killer. That was the Crown Killer. We didn't know that before. But that was... Reflection on my journey to the Pandician continent. We were only miles from shore, but our approach was marred by numerous hidden reefs and jagged rocks. They lay shallow, and we spied 2 vessels that had succumbed to them some time ago. The remaining crew was uncharacteristically silent as we edged by the weathered wrecks. The first mate declared a particularly narrow channel to be unpassable, but the captain dispatched 10 crewmen onto the submerged coral with sledgehammers. Thereafter, each chest deep in water, they pulled the Antonia Aquilo into the tiny channel with ropes. It proved a marvelous solution. However, just as we were about to lower the rope ladders, tragedy struck as the men were beset by a school of reef-dwelling eels. Apparently, their toxic bites were quite painful. From the railing, we could see them swarming the men, who begged us for aid before succumbing to the paralytic effects of the toxin. Within moments, all were still in the water. We continue on in silence, and by sunset we had cleared the bars and put anchor in a bay with a red rock beach and emerald overgrowth beyond. I confess I was near giddy to put my feet on land again. The smell of ripening fruits and warm earth was as pleasing to me as a cherished vintage. We gathered wood and made fires and indulged in some tinned meat and lemons from our stores. How good it was to slumber on the beach with a crackle of embers nearby, having finally escaped the cramped and damped quarters of our vessel. We took turns with the watch and passed a quiet night. At last we stood on Pandician soil. Don't mess with Pandician eels, because they will bite your feet. I read this one before. What about this one? 2 dead on our first day on the continent, but the new world was not sated and would have 1 more. None other than the captain himself. His group had found a cluster of small rodents, much like rabbits or prairie moles. The lure of fresh meat proved too much a temptation for our good captain, who had dined on scant fish and the same rations as the crew all these dreary months. He was able to grab one of the creatures with his bare hands, ! But the docile beasts were not so tame after all. Having allowed the captain to pick it up, the creature became enraged and delivered several stings from a gland hidden in its tail. The captain complained of, quote, heat and itching, unquote, where the stings had penetrated, but insisted they press on. He died of asphyxiation within a quarter hour. It was suddenly obvious to me that at this rate of attrition we would not only fail to sufficiently research the continent, but we might soon lack enough crew to make the return voyage! Something had to be done to save the venture, and so I immediately declared myself captain. On my orders, the remaining crew kept to the relative safety of the beach for the duration of the week, though I sent 2 young academy students armed with nets and cages to fetch a live sample of the, quote, prairie mole, unquote, that had so swiftly killed the captain. As first and foremost, ours was a research expedition. Is that where they got the rats? No. I don't know. You know, the rats that had the plague in the first game.